Slip and fall claims. When to tell when it's workers' compensation versus a personal injury claim. Great question, something we're going to dive into today. Generally speaking, and I get a lot of calls about this, someone might call me and say, hey, I was working for a certain company, I was in the course and scope of my employment during my shift when suddenly I slipped and fell and had some type of injury. What type of rights and remedies do I have? Typically and generally speaking, if you're in the course and scope of your employment and it's kind of a, for lack of a better term, like a no-fault situation or solely within the purview of your employer, then that would fall within the work comp realm. For example, if you are a line worker for some parts distribution company and you're just working your regular job on the line, and during your shift one day you trip and fall or slip and fall over a box of parts or something like that. Assuming that that was all connected with your employment and the box had been placed there by someone connected with your employment, that would be in the work comp realm. Now, where the law changes or where the analysis changes is if a third party is involved. A third party could be someone that isn't directly associated with your company. So for example, let's just say you are a dock worker for a company, and as part of your job, you are loading and unloading boxes in trucks, for example. Let's say as you're loading and unloading boxes on one of the trucks, there's a wet spot in the truck or something like that. And as you're loading or unloading, you slip and fall and you're injured. Well, that wet spot was causally related or at least connected to the third party, which is the truck for this company. And so even though you were working at the time, there's a third party involved, and so there would be a potential claim there. Now, there's a lot of interplay in terms of, well, what do we do about medical bills? What about permanency of my injuries? What about pain and suffering? And so that's why it's critical to talk with us as soon as possible, because there is complexity involved in that. Obviously, work comp is involved in the sense of typically if it's related to your workplace injury, they're going to be covering medical bills. What if they don't cover the medical bills? Or what if they cut you off after a certain period of time? Or what if they want to send you to an IME, an independent medical doctor, to do some type of an analysis or an independent evaluation? That could affect your work comp benefits. And then obviously there's the component of pain and suffering, and pain and suffering comes up on the personal injury end as opposed to the work comp realm. So there's disability ratings and payments through the work comp case, but then there's pain and suffering and other elements of damages through a personal injury case. And so again, it's important to speak with us as soon as possible so that we make sure that your rights are protected and that you have every resource available at your disposal in order to pursue not just a work comp claim, but also potentially a third party claim against the responsible party.